What's going on, people? It's OG back here on the screen. This is my new rebirth build, but we're here to talk about the physicals today. I know people are going to want me to get in deep detail, but there's going to be a video on this build. Okay, now fellas, let's talk about physicals. Okay, so the truth about physicals in 2K, because a lot of people will make their builds and some people won't understand how you can take certain hits in certain builds. Certain guards, you don't need too much of a high stamina because you're already a guard. Your speed and acceleration is going to save you that turbo meter. I'm going to get deep into the turbo meter because a lot of people are confused. There's still a lot of beginners, you know, with 2K, and I'm going to put you on. All right, so we know there's speed with ball. So when you have the ball, this is going to ultimately be how fast you move when the ball is in your hand. But you got to understand there's the mathematics system, so the speed with ball increases, and you have other badges like first quick steps. This build is not going to have that, but just for other builds, just so you can get a kind of mind state of like you can still become faster, so you don't even have to max out your speed with ball. Some players just don't understand it, but once you get deep into the game, you'll start to realize it. Once you realize what you can work with, what you can't, you'll be like, okay, I see what it is, right? So let me get back to this. Let me get back to these beautiful physicals. Okay, so now with the speed, what does this speed deal with ultimately? Okay, now running around, moving around the court, okay, on defense. Okay, now you have an acceleration. Now for this big build, this is good. Speed and acceleration, you know. A lot of builds will have sometimes in the 60s and stuff, and that's kind of slow, you know. That's kind of cutting it, especially if you're in the 7-foot height. It's hard to kind of move around, especially on the perimeter when you got to pick up, play a little pickup game and stuff like that. So understand that your speed and acceleration, how fast you can take off and run towards somebody to go contest them. Your speed, how long that's going to take, okay? And then it deals with your turbo meter as well. You know, this plays out as well. I'm going to get deep, so make sure you watch this video, okay? You guys have to understand truth to this stuff, all right? Now, you may have some badges like, okay, downhill. You have it on some of these builds that allow you to, you know, do a little bit more, right? But not on this big man build, okay? Now, the strength. This is the biggest one that people really, I would say, how can I say, don't understand and don't get strength. Strength only deals with in the paint, okay? Backing somebody down, okay? Box out for rebounds. Strength is key. Now understand, strength is still valuable. People make it seem like strength's not valuable. Players just don't want to play in the play style to make strength valuable. Understand, if you box players out, or if you're making sure that you're boxing players out and you're using the box badge, their stamina is going to go down because you're going to get into a contact animation with them to where they're going to have to automatically box out with you. You take their stamina down. If you're backing players down in the paint with back down Punisher and you have high strength on, you're taking their stamina down. You can do a kick out with post playmaking. People don't have that kind of mind state though to think like that. So then they think strength is not valuable because they see other players make builds without strength and stuff. Like, no, it's just you can work around strength. That's the truth. That's the key. These players can be strong as hell on the court. That don't matter. Like, if you don't know how to use that strength properly, players can still jump, block you, strip you, all types of stuff. You know, people want the strength to be correlated on defense to where you can bump players, but clamps works very, very fine. People just have to learn how to slide onto the ball. I'm going to make more defensive tutorials, you know, but people just not really understanding that. But that's what they think strength is for, but it's more so in the paint. It's more so when you are having to contest a big man and he's backing you down with back down Punisher, right? And if you have high strength on, then you're going to be able to kind of push him up, you know, but really that doesn't matter. You don't want to waste your stamina. I feel it's always better to work around it, kind of let him use his strength and use it against him, kind of back off and jump up and block him, you know, fake him out. I feel like that's way better to play post playmakers, post scorers, all that. So to just try to go against them with strength and a strength battle, no, you know, you're kind of wasting your time. So really, I leave my strength low, especially on the bigger builds, all right? But for this build, I would give him at least like kind of a 30 strength. That's it. Only a little bit, just because he's a little bit bigger, and I know that other guards, there's other players. You got to think. See, I understand that the meta exists, all right? You know, we are meta assassins, but I understand the meta is existing. Now understand, when the meta exists, you can kind of make your build based off of how the meta players play. Most of the comp guards, most of the top players, they're not going to put their strength up like that, right? So at least if I have a 30 strength and I'm already on a bigger build with a bigger player box, I'm going to get those body contacts on those little guys, those easy body ups, you know. And then we have badges like Mouse in the House, Fearless Finisher, that adds to your strength. So think about it, play it, man. It's just chests, it's keys, it's gems. All right, now let's get on to the next best one, vertical. Okay, now vertical, when you think about vertical, you can say vertical comes into play with certain, like, want for jumping off one leg, but really it's like what your standing dunks in the paint. That's what's going to help your vertical. Jumping up for your offensive rebound, put back boss, you know, jumping up straight up to block. That's all with vertical. Okay, so of course you want to make sure that you have a very good vertical. It's very key. Like we want to put our vertical up very high. All right, especially on our bigger builds. I mean, what other builds, I'll go with the 70. I feel like the best to go with a vertical is 70. People will look at 70 vertical bad because you can't get the 85 or the 80 or the 90, whatever, for contact dunks. But contact dunks is not a super important key thing to make you skillful in 2K. So 70 is enough to still be jumping up high and jumping up, able to get a board, add into that chase down artist sometimes, because sometimes I feel like if you have a good vertical on and you put chase down artist, it makes you just leap a little bit better. But vertical really just deals with that off ball defense, jumping up for rebounds. So understand that it's not really to say like chasing down and blocking. If you have a high vertical, is going to make you go up and jump it crazy and block it. No, because that's really like when you think about somebody's vertical, it's like jumping off 2 feet. Now here you can do this based off of the type of player you are. If you're skillful, I could say you can drop down to somewhere in the 80s, even go to an 80 if you are skillful, because you can put those extra points to somewhere else. And that's why I say you can do stuff like this, right? You don't have to go all out and go to 99, but you got to understand, when we're going to get into this next part of this video about stamina turbo. If you have a 99, your recharge rate, you know how fast your turbo recharges is way better, all that stuff. So it gets really deep with this. All right, we're going to get into, so when we come here, we all know about the Gatorade, right? Now we all know when you get gym rat, but the key and the point I'm trying to get you guys to pay attention to is how there's a slowdown turbo thing that you can actually buy, so your turbo doesn't slow down. You know, you actually get 25% more boost added to your turbo meter. All right, so instead of you getting that reduction, you're getting 25% added more towards you. All right, now think about when you have your regular base stamina. If you had an 80 stamina, 70 stamina, 99 stamina, you have to think about this. Your stamina has its bar in its own self. Okay, so if you have a 99 stamina, your turbo slowdown is not going to be that bad. But let's say if you have a lower stamina than that, then your turbo meter is going to start slowing down. You see how this starts to work out, people? So you have to understand how the physicals truly work. Your turbo meter is very important. I tell people this all the time. It deals with shooting, everything. When your turbo meter is really low, sometimes really be precise on your shooting, like on timing your shot. For real. Now look, recover energy, right? Now you have a turbo recovery. Now this is when your turbo is charging back up, the recovery rate, right? When it's charging back up. Now look at this. So first off, remember this, slow down, right? So it slows down how much your turbo gets affected. Okay, this is what this Gatorade is for. So it's basically like a boost to you. It slows down how long your turbo starts to go down, that meter, right? Now when we get to this one, right, the recovery rate. So when you use a lot of stamina, let's say if you reach, you jump up for a block, you get some contact, somebody's back down punisher in you, and your turbo is going down. This is for the recovery rate. This Gatorade, when you drink this, is for the recovery rate, okay? So think about when you have the gym rat badge, okay, as well. So understand how key stamina is. Now, let's say if you have a lower stamina, right? Your recovery rate is going to be slower. So sometimes when you make your builds, you don't have to go super high stamina. You just got to know these things. You can sometimes take out your stamina so you can go higher somewhere else. I do this all the time with my builds. Or even in other places, speed, acceleration. So understand that there's actually a recovery rate with the turbo meter. And what deals with that recovery rate? How high your stamina already is. The base stat, right? Boom. Now, when we get to this, increase energy turbo by 20%. Gatorade, right? This is just energy, right? Extra turbo. extra speed. So this is the last one of the pack, and this is to get extra speed, extra time towards your turbo, how much you can turbo off in that turbo boost. Okay, and basically this all right here has to deal with you getting that gym rat badge. Once you get that gym rat badge, you get the perfect workout boost, right? You're gonna have the perfect workout, and you're gonna have the 4 stars that activate in game. People don't understand that. I make a video all the time. A lot of people still get confused. The 4-star works in game, and you're gonna get the perfect workout turbo boost. All right, so you're gonna naturally have that turbo boost. So this is why the gym rat badge is very important towards your build. You don't want to be slow and sluggish when you're trying to do your moves, when you're trying to shoot. Your stamina's running down too low because you've been playing crazy defense. That sucks. Like when you're on defense, you playing some good defense, you get the ball back, or you steal the ball, and then your stamina bar so low you can't even get off on the fast break. Come on. So I hope you guys receive some gems in this before you make your new builds and start to really take more time going into your physicals, realizing if you're at a taller height, you can go with a lower stamina. It's like, why? If you're a bigger guy, you're not going to be utilizing that much turbo to be doing extra things. You know, usually the guards want to go super high turbo because they're doing a lot of dribble moves, a lot of creating space and stuff like that. You know, slashing builds that can dribble, move around. All right, so I hope you guys see the gems in this video. Hope you guys learned something new about the physicals, the stats, where these things take place at, where they're key at. Make sure to see you guys in the next one.